Hello guys, welcome to Tech Vitals. Today we are going to learn how to change the port number of SSH or the secure shell in Linux. In the previous lesson, we learned how to connect and transfer data from one machine to another machine using the secure shell. In my virtual box, I have two virtual machines, CentOS and Linux CentOS. This CentOS is the graphic user interface and the Linux CentOS is the command line interface. So in the previous video, we connected these two virtual machines through the secure shell and we transferred some files and directories using the scp command. But in that video, we used the default port number of SSH, that is 22. But in this video, we are going to change the port number of secure shell or the SSH, and then we will try to connect and copy or transfer data between these two machines with the new port number. So let's get started. In this mobile external application, we are connected to our graphic user interface virtual machine with the IP address 192.168.7.177, and the IP address of this command line interface machine is 192.168.7.182, and since we haven't changed the port number of secure shell, we can connect to this command line interface machine from this graphic user interface machine using SSH, the username with John, and the IP address 192.168.7.182, and then if we give the password of the user John, then we will connect to this virtual machine, that is command line interface machine, where the user is John and the host name or the machine name is SSH2. So let's exit for now. And let's try to change the port number of SSH. So for that, we can go to this machine, SSH2. Let's clear the screen. To change the port number of SSH, we have to go and edit the file, which is inside /etc/etc/sshd_config. And we are using the vi command here so that we can edit this /sshd_config file. But to edit or modify this file, we must have a root privilege or the super user privilege. So we cannot just go inside this /etc directory with the local user. We have to be either the root user or the super user. So we have to use sudo command to apply the super user privilege, and John is a super user because John is a member of whale group. So when we learned about the lesson of users and groups, we talked about the sudo command, that stands for super user do, and we mentioned that when we allocate a user in the whale group, then it will become a super user. So John is the member of whale group, so it's a super user. That's why we can use the sudo command with the John user. So let's use the sudo command so that we can configure this /sshd_config file. Let's press the enter, and we have to give the password of John. Let's press the enter, and now we are in the /sshd_config file. And if you see here in this line, it says port 22. If you have the difficulty finding this line, port 22, you can use the slash and then you can type port to search that line where the word port is, and if you press enter, then it will take you to every line where the word port is. Then you can again type slash and enter, and finally you will get to this line. And as we mentioned, the default port number of SSH is 22. So here port 22 is given, and to change this port, First we have to go to the insert mode by pressing I. Now we are in the insert mode, and let's delete this hash sign and change this 22 to some other number. So let's give the new port number of 1424. So you can give any number you want, and then we have to save this file. First press escape and then type :WQ and then press enter. So we changed the port number of SSH from 22 to 1424. Let's clear the screen. Now let's use the command semanage port -l. This command will show you the list of ports of different protocols, but here we just want to see the port of SSH, so we are going to use pipe and then grep command. Grep command is used to search for the line where the specific word is. So here we are looking for the port number of SSH. So if we type SSH, then this command will take you to the line where the word SSH is in the list of different port numbers of protocols. So let's press the enter. Okay, so this semanage command has not been installed in this machine. So to install the semanage command, or to be able to use this command, we have to install a package. So we are going to use yum install policy core utils dash python dash utils. So the package is policy core utils dash python dash utils, and again we have to use the sudo command because it's an administrative command. Let's press the enter and let's give the password of John again. So now it is downloading that package. And now the total size for this package is 4 megabytes, and it asks you, do you want to continue downloading or not? So let's type Y and hit the enter. And don't worry about installing this package. We used yum command to install the package, but we will learn about this yum command and package management in the future videos. So you don't need to worry about this command and all the process that just happened for downloading the package. So the package downloading has been complete, and now we should be able to use the semanage command. Let's clear the screen first and let's type the command again, semanage port -l, and since we are looking for the SSH port number, we have to pipe it with the grep SSH. Okay, so it is showing the port number of SSH is 22. So still, after changing the port number in the SSHD config file, here in the system, the port number of SSH port is saved as 22. So we have to add the new port number that we just assigned in this list of port numbers. So to do that, we need to type the command sudo semanage port, and to add the new port number we're going to use -a. Then we have to give one more attribute -t, and then this name SSH underscore port underscore t, and then -p, then the protocol TCP, and the new port number that we just gave to the SSH config file, that was 1424. Let's press the enter. Okay, Now if we check the port number again for the SSH, then you can see 1424, the new port number has been added, and the default port number 22 is still there. Now there is one more step. We have to add this new port number in the firewall as well. And as you know, firewall is the software that blocks the specific traffic to access our system. And to add the new port number in firewall, we have to type firewall -cmd /add -port equals 1424/TCP, and then to add it permanently we have to type /permanent, and let's press the enter. Oh, here we forgot to add the sudo command, so we have to type sudo and then the whole command again. Okay, now it should work. Okay, so it says success. Now we have changed the port number in the SSHD configuration file. We added the port number in the list of ports, and we also added the new port number in our firewall system. Now we have to restart the firewall and the SSHD service. So first, let's restart the firewall by using the command firewall -cmd -reload. Okay, here we forget to add sudo again. Sudo firewall -cmd reload. The firewall has been reloaded, and we have to reload or restart the SSHD service also by using the command sudo systemctl restart SSHD. Now we are going to use the netstat command to verify if the new port number is working properly. So we have to use netstat, but also give the sudo command and then give the attribute ntl, and then so this netstat command will show us all the active port numbers that are working. But here we want to look for this port number 1424 if it's working or not. So that's why we are going to use the pipe grep and that new port number. Let's press the enter. Okay, so we haven't installed the netstat command as well. So to use the netstat command, we have to install the package called net-tools. So again, let's use the yum command to install net-tools package. Let's press enter. So we have to press Y again to continue the download. So the package installation has been complete. Let's clear the screen and let's use the netstat command again to verify if the new port number is working or not. So let's type sudo netstat. Let's give the attributes ntl and then pipe grep, and we are looking for the 1424 port number. So let's press enter. Okay, so it found 1424 for TCP and TCP6, and since in the last column it says listen, that means these two port numbers are in the listen mode, which means these port numbers are working properly. So now we have successfully changed the SSH port number from 22 to 1424. And if we go to this SSH1 machine. So before connecting to the SSH2 machine, which is this one, we first use SSH John @192.168.7.182, and when we enter, then it asked for the John password, and then we were connected to this SSH2 machine. But now, since we have changed the port number, it should give us some error. So let's check. Okay, so it says connection refused because this command only works when the port number of SSH is 22. But since we have changed the port number, we have to add one more attribute, that is -p attribute, and then we have to give the new port number, that is 1424, and now username @IP address, and now if you press enter, it will ask you the password, and after you type the password, then you are inside the SSH2 machine. So when you change the SSH port number, you have to add this two attribute, the first attribute, that is -p, and then you have to give the new port number, and then you should be able to connect to the virtual machine using the SSH. And since we have changed the default port number, to copy the files from this machine to the SSH2 machine, we also make a slight change in the scp command. So let's first exit from the SSH mode. Okay, now we are back inside this SSH1 machine, and we are in the vitals directory, and if we check the list, then here we have paul.txt, and in this SSH2 machine, right now we are in the home/John, and if you check the list, then here we have john.txt, and now let's try to copy this paul.txt from this SSH1 in this SSH2 machine. So in the previous lesson we used scp, then we gave the file name, that is paul.txt, and then we type the username John @ the IP address, and then we give colon, and then we give the path where we want to copy that file, so home/John, and then we press the enter. So if we type enter, it will say connection refused because this command only works when the port number of SSH is 22. So here we have to again add -p attribute, the new port number, and then file name, username and the IP address, colon, and the path. Okay, so it's still saying connection refused. Okay, I got it. I think when using the scp, we have to give capital P attribute, not the small p. The small p is when we use SSH command, but when we use scp command, we have to use the capital P. So scp and capital P attribute, then the new port number, the file name, the username and the IP address, and then the path. Now let's check. Okay, now it asks for the John password, and you can see paul.txt has been successfully transferred in the transfer rate of 25.4 kilobytes, and the size of this file is 61 bytes. So if we go to our SSH2 machine, before we had just john.txt, but if you check the list now, here we have paul.txt. So in this lesson we learned about how to change the default port number of SSH And after changing the new port number, how can we connect to the machine using SSH command, and how can we copy the file using scp command. And we also learned that while using the SSH command, we have to use the small p attribute, and while using the scp command, we have to use the capital P attribute. So that's gonna do it for this video. We will gonna learn more about SSH, so I'll see you soon with the next video. Till then, keep learning. Goodbye.